My name is James Shepard, and today I want to explain to you, where does social media come into play with prospecting? Where does social media fit? You hear about it all the time. I'm sure you guys are watching stuff, and it's like you watch things online, these other entrepreneurs, and it's like, oh man, I'm telling you, if you're not making sales using, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and Google Plus, and, then you're just missing the boat, right? Well, then you actually start selling, and you're kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, how am I supposed to use this stuff? Where does it fit in? It doesn't, if I put a tweet out there, it's not like I get a sale from that, so what has to happen? So I want to just kind of briefly talk to you about this, because I'm not going to get into a lot of depth. I will tell you, if you go to instantquotetool.com, I do have a training course there. I've got one on generating leads with YouTube, generating leads with Twitter, generating leads with LinkedIn, maybe one other one I can't remember. But anyway, if you go there, I've got like extensive video courses on the individual channels. I just want to talk to you today kind of in general about how to use these prospecting, these social media tools for prospecting. So the first thing that has to happen, in my opinion, I do not believe that these social media channels, for most of you, I don't believe that these are a good opportunity or a good way for you to add new people to your pipeline. I don't believe that. Now, you might disagree with me. I probably talked to the top, 1,000 salespeople in this industry, I'm sure, at some point over the last few years. And none of them have been like, oh yeah, the way I do it is it's all on Facebook. No one tells me that. No one. It doesn't work. Everybody is using either on the phone or face-to-face. So you need that. But what you can do is you can leverage your evening hours. So some of you have ambition levels that are higher than others of you, right? And so some of you are like me, where in the evening, usually around like 8, 9 o'clock at night, I go back to work and I work until 1 in the morning. So I'm like a 9 to 1, worker. And that's my schedule, that's what I do. But one of the key things is like, what do you do as a sales rep at 11 o'clock at night? What are you gonna do? You can't call people. What are you gonna do? Well, what you do is you stalk people on social media. So what you do is you go on to Facebook, find their business on Facebook, find them on Instagram. And what you do is two things. Number one is you engage with their content. So if they're putting content out there, right, then you become somebody that engages with them in a very non-confrontational way. I remember a long time ago, I was trying to sell this place that was like a dog groomer, and they always posted these really cute pictures of dogs like after they had gotten their grooming done, and they looked all cute. And they put those on their Facebook page. And I went in there, I met with the owner. She was like super busy, didn't have a lot of time to talk to me. And I was kind of like, okay. And I couldn't get any attention. I couldn't sell. So I left, and that was in my prospecting pipeline. And so for the next 3 or 4 days, every day, like in the evening, I would look through their pictures and I would find their favorite picture, and I shared it on my personal Facebook feed. And I was like, hey everybody, I was just at this business today. Looks like such a cool place. If you have a dog, you should really take them there. And I did this like some variation of that 3 times in a week. Well, she noticed that, And so when I came back in after a week, and I was like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, good, good. I was like, yeah, I'm James Shepard. We commented back and forth a little bit on Facebook over the last week. And she was like, oh yeah, thanks so much for sharing those pictures. I really appreciate that. Like, I sold her like that. Why? Because I was engaged, I was adding some value. And again, that's something I could do at 11 o'clock at night, midnight, doesn't matter. They don't care, I'm just sharing a Facebook post. So you can engage with their content, spread their content, do that. The other thing you can do is you can interrupt them via social media. The great thing about that is most people don't get like a beeping alert on their phone when they get a Facebook message. If their phone's on silent because they're sleeping or whatever, they're not going to get alerted to that, right? So you can go at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. You can go on there and send somebody a Facebook message or a direct message. And what I found is, and this is kind of interesting, in today's world right now, small business owners are actually more likely to see a Facebook message to them from on their page than they are to see an email. They're actually much more likely to actually open and see what you said in that message. So of course I like to use the email like I talked about before to introduce topics that I want to talk about, but social media is better right now for that really quick conversation of just like, hey, thanks so much for taking time to meet with me today. I really appreciate it. I checked out your Facebook page. Looks like you guys have a great business. I'm wishing you well. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just do that a couple times. Then maybe what I'll do is 2 or 3 days later, I'll go back on there and I'll find some really cool article about, whatever. If it's a tire and lube place, I'll find some really good article about cost cutting for tire and lube businesses or something, and I'll go back on Facebook or I'll go on LinkedIn or Instagram and I'll message them and say, hey, I was thinking about you today when I saw this article. I thought you might enjoy it. It's a cost-cutting article for your business type. Boom, I'll send that. So that's the kind of stuff that you can do on social media. So for those of you that are like, I just don't know what to do with social media, what I would challenge you to do is really simple. Sit down every night for like an hour or two with your current pipeline and basically find them on different social media channels and think of ways that you can add value or connect with them on social media to just enhance your chances when you come back so that they're more familiar with who you are. It's a way to kind of keep your face in front of them and kind of validate yourself as a real person. And I like doing that. Like I'll even friend somebody. I don't mind if it's like a local business owner. I don't mind friending them on Facebook, like my personal Facebook. Like I have more chance of seeing them again than I do my friends from high school from 10 years ago, you know? Like I don't mind that. They seem like a legitimate person. I'll friend them on Facebook. I don't mind if they see a picture of my kid. Like I'm okay with that. And then I'll friend them on Facebook and then it's like, oh, wow, that wasn't like some random sales rep. That's a real person. And what's going to happen is when you do that, a lot of times they're going to click on it. And they're like, oh, look at that. This guy's like a father. For me, in my community, they're like, he's a Christian. He goes to church. He's talking about God. He's got kids. He's passionate about business. And they're like, I like this guy, right? Well, now I come back, I'm a guy that they like rather than some stranger that they met one time that annoyed them. So use social media in that kind of interim time frame there while they're in your pipeline to just connect with them and go a little bit further with them. That's what you should be doing with social media and prospecting. Hopefully you've enjoyed this series of videos. I know I've enjoyed shooting it. My name is James Shepard. Have an awesome day.